Hey folks, it's back and it's ready to kick my butt. It's Inktober 2018. I kept telling myself that I would be prepared, that I would sketch things out in advance because I don't have time to make a video every single day because I need the light, and now I have a day job, so by the time I come home there is no more light, so I either have to work fast or work smart, and for this piece I chose to do neither. I'm doing the official prompt list for Inktober this year, and the prompt for day 1 is poisonous, which I thought was a great prompt to start us off with. Like, this will get us into the spirit. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on. You can see that I've already sketched out, a general upscale of the piece. I did a little bit in my moleskin journal, and now it's on a piece of paper. It's a postcard. It's gonna be great. But you know what? I bet you're already seeing the first hurdle that I came to. The first leafy hurdle. Thinking of poisonous, I instantly thought of snakes. It's classic. I can't draw snakes very well, but you know what I can draw? Girls. You know what I've never actually drawn? Snake people. That's right. Snake people. I think the Japanese term is a naga? I don't know. But I don't know what we'd call a half-man, half-snake creature in English. I don't think we have a word for that. I don't really know what it would be called. We'd call it an ugly sod, probably. I decided when I did Inktober last year that I would use the challenge as a means of improvement, a chance to experiment with concepts and techniques that maybe, is a little out of my comfort zone. So instead of simply drawing, one snake woman, I thought it would be cool to have an entire nest of them. Yeah. 'Cause that's much more inviting and pleasant. And safe. So, all these snakes are huddled together on all this foliage, and I wanted, any gap in the leaves that were seen to just be filled with eyes watching you in these winding, twisting, beautiful tales. And you know what? I will readily admit, I am not one for drawing nature. My backgrounds are usually sparse, if existent at all, and you can bet that grass and leaves will not be a part of it. So I decided to draw tiny leaves covering the vast majority of the page. And oh my word, it took forever. I wanted to be able to add depth to them later, so I had them overlapping and standing out, and for so long, while I was inking it, I was terrified that it wasn't going to look good because I hadn't even, bothered to sketch half of them out, so, half of them weren't even done with any sort of plan whatsoever. It was all just winged. I just winged so much of it. It was terrifying. And could I have just drawn the leaves in a different way to give the impression of foliage, rather than, draw each individual leaf? Yes. Yes, I could have. But I didn't. I didn't at all. The first breed of snake I thought of while, thinking all of this through was a rattlesnake, a classic. You see the rattle, it's poisonous, to stay away. It gives a little shake, it gives a little noise. You're like, oh well, that's a rattlesnake right there, I need to stay away from that thing. What? But then I remembered a snake that I learnt about when I was a kid, and the very concept terrified me. The coral snake has some of the most potent venom in the world, causing little pain with the initial bite due to their short fangs, but causing a human's respiratory system to completely shut down within a few hours, due to the paralysing neurotoxin in their venom. Victims need artificial respiration and a large dose of antivenom in order to survive. What's also scary about this snake is that they look incredibly similar to a number of completely harmless snakes, such as certain breeds of milk snake and king snake. And when I first learnt about it, even though obviously we don't get them in England, the only poisonous animal we have is the adder, which is a different sort of snake, I was terrified of the mere concept of incredibly powerful venom and, a clever disguise, and it stayed with me for all these years. It made quite an impact. Especially since both the venomous and the non-venomous version of this snake is incredibly beautiful with its distinctive banding of red, black and yellow. A lot of the cases I learnt about concerning coral snake bites, they're very sparse, like they don't happen often. They 15 to 25 a year. A lot of victims who survived said that one of the reasons why they were around this snake to begin with, because they're dumb, is because it looked like a milk snake and they thought it was the non-venomous version. And, there are a few poems or sayings in order to tell the difference between these snakes, basically helping you to remember that if yellow is between the red and the black bands, you know to keep clear and to leave the thing alone. These sayings, they rhyme. I remember something like, red touches yellow, a deadly fellow, and red touches black, a friend to Jack. And I'm glad Jack can make friends, I'm proud of him, but I have a little saying of my own to help me remember. It's stay away from snakes, idiot. I'm actually very happy with how the leaves turned out. Thankfully, I was able to give some depth to them quite nicely, and I'm really happy with the effect. I used a water-soluble ink pen. Incidentally, it's the one that I got from an Art Snacks box. I did a video about it. It was pretty interesting to find that depending on how I used the ink, the values of it would differ. If I drew with the pen and then used the water afterwards, it had a cool and bluish tone to it, whereas if I, drew some ink out and used it straight with a brush, like just normal painting with ink, then it had a warmer and more grey tone to it. And it made it easier for me to differentiate between the colour bands on the snake's tails. And that was great, because I was really worried about how I would do that, since I don't have the correct colours of ink, and I decided to make the whole piece, heavily rely on tones and values. Paid off in the end, I'm really happy. The leaves and grass were incredibly tedious, but I'm glad that I did it. I never draw textures or plant life, so although there's a lot to improve on in that aspect, I'm very happy with how it turned out. And ba-boom! That's the first piece for Inktober. Time sort of got away from me this time today, but I'm hoping to get myself together for, the rest of the month. I need to work fast and simple. It's gonna be tough. I usually like spending so much time on things and really, doing little details, or I'm just slow. I might just be slow. I think I'm slow. Folks, I'm just slow. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a video for all of them this year. In fact, you know what? I highly doubt that I'll be able to. Especially with my day job and the fact that there's not much daylight left. Ever. But I'll still be doing, the actual pieces and uploading the final things to my Tumblr blog and maybe my Instagram. I don't know. I should probably wipe the dust off that. You feel free to check them out, if you like. If you like, have a go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the rest of this month as, much as I am. Happy month of Halloween! Are you doing Inktober this year? If so, please let's support each other because, God, it's difficult. What sort of things have you come up with so far? I'm very strapped for ideas. Pop me a like or a cheeky subscribe if you liked this video and would like to see more. It's always appreciated. Hope you're having a lovely time wherever you are, and stay safe. Ta-ra!